Hey everyone. I am going live at a weird time right now because I'm not technically doing a recap of my anything part of my day, and I'm also not getting on to do a devotional or anything right now. I just wanted to get on and do kind of a life update, real raw post. I honestly didn't even look to see when the last time was that I had been on. I know it's been a long time. I tell you what, man, you know, they say in relationships that communication is key, but I believe in life in general that consistency is key. And it's something that I definitely have issues with. It doesn't help that I am I call it recovering because I haven't fully recovered, but recovering perfectionist. And so I like things to be a certain way. I like things to look a certain way and be in a certain order. And then, because I am a perfectionist, recovering perfectionist, we will call it. And because I do like things that way, when things go awry, it makes it really, really easy for me to just kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater, proverbially. And so because I had some life-shifting things that have happened in the past month and a half, it just kind of made it easy to stop coming on here and being raw with you guys, being real with you guys, and giving you real-time updates about what was going on, checking in every day, doing the devotionals every day. I even had a game plan in place for those of you that were watching the devotionals and stuff. I was pre-recording them, and then that all kind of got jackied up. So it's like, man, it's super true that when we make our plans, that the Father in heaven sometimes laughs at us and is like, really? It's going to go that way? Okay, cool. So I feel like for me, that's definitely the way that it's been the past month and a half, 2 months, almost 2 months now. And so the Lord really was kind of getting on my case yesterday, the day before, just reminding me that it's important for to have consistency in life, but also the accountability that different things that he tells us to be a part of, whether it's friendships or groups or, for me, accountability was getting on here and doing this. And so I'm going to get back into it. It's one of those things where I'm also a person that wants to be a person. I want to be a person of my word. I want to follow through on the things that I say. And sometimes the hardest place for me to show up in that area is for myself and for my own health and my own well-being and my own wholeness journey. It's really easy for me to lay my own stuff down just so that I can go and do for other people, to the detriment of myself. I was actually having a conversation with a friend earlier today, and just being real and honest with one another. We were like, man, it's really easy for us to go and be all these things for other people, but then we don't show up for ourselves. And just the Lord just reminded me of that. If you've ever been in an airplane, gone on an airplane ride, whatever. And they do that whole thing where they talk about if we lose pressure in the cabin, that the oxygen mask will fall down. And then they're very explicit when they say, please put on your own mask before you help someone else with theirs. And that really goes especially for parents, because as parents, we want to take care of our kiddos first before we take care of ourselves. And so the Lord was just reminding me of that today. And, so I wanted to get on here and just be like, hey guys, I apologize, for not being consistent, for not checking in with you guys, for not staying accountable, because obviously most everybody that's watching on here doesn't even live in my area. And so it's one of those things where the only way that you're going to hear about what's going on with me is if I get on here and share. And so first of all, I just want to apologize and ask for forgiveness for not following through on my word, because like I said, I do want to be a person of my word. And so part of that is not biting off more than I can chew and really listening to what the Lord wants in regards to the seasons that I'm in and things like that. And so, but then the other part of it is just following through on stuff that's beneficial for me. I believe that most of us on this journey to health and wellness and wholeness have experienced throughout most of our journey, thus up to the point of where we like kind of made the decision to start doing things that were actually beneficial for ourselves versus benefiting, everyone else or, whoever. That up to that point where it's kind of like, you're just like, but, especially for those of us that have a servant's heart, it makes it really hard because you feel like you're being selfish. I definitely struggle in that regard where if I'm not laying my life down on a consistent basis, I feel like a jerk because I feel like I'm not doing enough for other people. And the Lord's just really helping me to understand that there's such a beautiful balance. But at the forefront of it, the forefront of all of it is literally just keeping our gaze fixed on Jesus, because the Lord reminded me of this picture that he showed me. It's been a couple years ago now, but it's such a powerful picture. So in scripture, it talks about that the yoke that we take on ourselves of, laying our cross down daily, or taking our cross up daily, laying down our cares before the Lord daily, that it's like a yoke, like an oxen that pulls a yoke. It's like, and it says that the Lord's yoke is easy and his burden is light. And so I think when the weight of the world gets on us, we need to evaluate and take like a self-evaluation and see, hey, am I taking on, number one, the cares of other people, but number two, am I keeping my own cares on myself? Because it says, cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. And so in thinking about all of those things, I just saw the Lord showed me this picture of, if you've ever seen kind of like the old school, and I believe that there are still places in the world that still use this, but here in the United States, you don't see it as often. So if you haven't seen it before, look it up, because it's very interesting. It's an oxen yoke. And so it's a yoke. And if you don't know what a yoke is, it's basically the thing that goes on their shoulders, on their backs. And there's a plow that goes behind them, and that's how they plow the fields. And so it's made for two oxen. And so you have obviously one on each side so that they can equally pull the load, right? Makes sense, right? Physics, gotta love it. However, the Lord just showed me this picture, and it was myself. And I had the yoke on my back, because like that is life. Like we either choose to lay down the yoke and just say, I give up and I'm done and I don't want to try anything anymore. Or we put the yoke on our back and we're like, okay. The beautiful thing is we don't have to do that alone. And sometimes we try to do that. And so what he showed me is myself on one side, and then all these, and this is the part of the thing that, like, when God gives us a promise, so he gives us the promise in the word of health and wholeness. Like, it's in there. It's in there. Like what we are able to have. Like, I am not one to preach the proverbial prosperity gospel or anything of those things, but it does say these amazing and incredible benefits that we have when we are walking with the Lord and when we are following his path. Because what does it say? It says that he has plans and a future for us that are beautiful and they're good. And I believe that word is for everyone, that he has a good future for all of us. It's about, we strive to get to that good future. We try to live in the American dream of, right now that is escaping my mind, but the American dream, like, obviously. And a lot of what's steeped in the American dream is like basically putting your nose to the grindstone and getting where you want to be. And so the Lord wants to take that off of us, and wants to get that expectation off of us, because again, what does it say? His yoke is easy and his burden is light. Now that's not saying that life is going to be like all hunky dory and we're not going to experience trials and tribulations. That's also promised when we say yes to Jesus. It says we will be persecuted. However, the reason why his burden is easy and his yoke is easy and his burden is light is because we're not carrying those things alone. And because we are walking with he who is peace itself and gives us peace that passes all understanding. Okay. Anyway, back to what he showed me. So these things that he shows us about our future, these words that we get, they're beautiful things, but they can become idols in our lives if we allow them to be. So even on this journey of health and wholeness, whatever that picture looks like for you, and the dream of why you want to become healthy. And that can become an idol. And so what I saw is all of these words that God had given me about children one day, about marriage one day, about ministry, about all of these things. Those were what was yoked beside me. It was interesting looking. It's hard to describe, but you get the picture. And so basically they are not pulling their weight at all. Obviously, because they are dreams and these beautiful blessings and things like that, but they have no legs. They have no thing to push themselves forward. It doesn't work that way. So what is happening is that I, on my side of the yoke, and pulling the full weight of this yoke and the plow behind me. And so the Lord, it was just this, man, I tell you what, it still blesses me today. What I see is Jesus come up. And he takes the yoke, takes those things off, and then it's like he absorbs those things within himself. And then he goes on the other side of the yoke, and suddenly I'm able to move forward towards all of those things, because what we forget is that found within our partnering with Jesus is all of the things that he has promised to us. We want to strive and push forward towards all of those things. And Jesus is saying, hey, if you will partner with me, what does the word say in Matthew 6:33? It says, honestly, I have my shirt here. I got a shirt. The Lord prompted me to buy this shirt this week, and he's just bringing me back to remembrance. Let me show you. Let me flip this around. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. And so that picture is literally, like, what the Lord was showing me in that picture is literally the embodiment of this scripture, Matthew 6:33. And so getting back to what are we seeking first? It's not a bad thing. I don't like to say good or bad, but we sometimes think of it as we do categorize things as good and bad. And so I don't want you to think that by you pursuing what the Lord has shown you for your future is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It can become an idol. Idols are not good things. Like that's something that we're not supposed to do in life, right? And so the Lord is just reminding us to get back to seeking him first and his righteousness. And what does that look like? And so I'm saying all that to hopefully encourages you. But I'm saying all that because the Lord's really, it says that a good father disciplines his children, and we need that discipline in our lives. We need him to course correct us. And so I'm saying all that and sharing all that with you from my perspective, because I feel like that's what the Lord is doing, is he is course correcting me once again and being like, hey, like all that stuff that happened, it wasn't necessarily bad, but it became a distraction because you didn't keep me first. And the reason why, because I got sick again last week, the reason why you got sick, the reason why you got worn down is because you didn't keep me first. It's not because those things are bad. Like, I still want to bless you in those things that come your way and our doors that are open before you. It's about walking through the doorway with him instead of pushing, because I think sometimes that's what happens. A doorway presents itself in front of us. It's an opportunity. And instead of sitting back and being still with the Lord, Psalm 46:10, be still and know that he is God. Instead of sitting back and doing that and allowing him to supernaturally open that door, we just kind of plow ahead and push the door open. Was it an opportunity? 150%. Like, the Lord is giving us the opportunity. That is a door that he wants us to go through. It's about when we see that opportunity, do we still wait on his timing to walk through it? And I think sometimes we just kind of get happy about the fact that, it's an opportunity. It's a whatever it is, something exciting, something to get excited about. And then we just plow through the door. And, it just, it makes me think of all of those like funny cartoons growing up where all of those animated characters went through walls and stuff. And you see their like, the outline of their, and it looks like that and the Lord's just kind of like, the thing is, guys, he's so gracious. He's so merciful to us that he still redeems everything, because that is who he is. He is a kinsman redeemer. And we need to be grateful, I should say, for the fact that his mercies are new every single morning. And we get to experience those mercies every single day and just being thankful from that place. And so I guess I say all that to say, I'm coming back on here to say I am back. And, thank you for your patience. Thank you for, hopefully you're not frustrated or upset, but if you are, I apologize, because I didn't follow through on what I said. And at the end of the day, it is about the Lord using this platform to keep me accountable, because he's trying to show me, this is so weird to me because it feels so backwards, but kingdom is upside down, right? And so using this platform, which is a very public, it's obviously a public platform, right? So using this platform to do something that is on a personal level for myself is so weird to me. If you look at it from like the super logical perspective, but then when I'm looking at it from the fact that God knows me better than I know myself, staying accountable to someone outside of me and me alone, and even a, close friend or two, there's something to that. There's really something to that. And the Lord knows that because he knows who I am. And so, I'm coming on here today. Honestly, I just pushed, go live without knowing exactly what I was going to say, but I guess I was supposed to say everything that I was supposed to say for your ears, and hopefully, to benefit you and to encourage you, but also to encourage myself and to just, be real and honest with you guys and say, consistency is a hard thing for me. And that's another thing about being a part of a group of people, a part of the body of Christ, is the fact that we get to encourage other people. And so if you're watching this and you're a person that also struggles with consistency, please reach out to me and let's do this journey together. I don't want to do it alone. That's the thing. We're not called to journey alone. We're not called to do things alone. There's a reason why we see within the first couple of chapters of the word that it says that God saw Adam and saw that he was lonely and saw that there was nobody that could fulfill that partnership outside of another human being. And so that right there just shows us that yes, we need God. Yes, it is important to be in relationship with God, but we also need others. And so thank you so much for partnering with me on this journey. I want to partner with all of you on this journey as well. So if you want to reach out and ask for prayer or whatever it is, please do not hesitate. And I'm going to dip my toe back in the water. I'm going to jump fully back in all the way, but I'm going to Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom, and he tells me the steps to move forward. I'm not going to be perfect in it. I'll just tell you that right now. Obviously, you guys haven't seen me for a month and a half or so. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to continue. Again, all of this is in the Lord's strength. None of it's in mine. Sometimes it just takes me a while to get back to that place of not trying to do it in my own strength. So I mean, ladies, let's just be real. Sometimes that's who we are as women. We think that we have to just bulldoze through things. When really it says, what about our weakness? It's in our weakness that he is made strong. And so admitting our weakness. So this is me admitting my weakness. I'm asking the Lord to gird me up and to strengthen me in this area. But I also covet your prayers in this area as well, because I do believe that this is the future that the Lord has for me, is walking in health and wholeness in all areas, not just in the physical. But I would love some cheerleaders along the way. And so this is me reaching out about that, but also just being real and raw with you and telling you guys where it's at and where I'm at. So thank you. If you're watching this later, whatever, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you. And, the game plan, and I'm putting this out there as a game plan, and praying that this is the consistency that will stay, is that I'm getting ready to pre-record some of the devotionals. If you can hear, my voice is kind of going in and out. So again, we'll see how that goes. So that we're getting back into the fasting and feasting devotional. And then I do want to start checking in with you guys at least every other day, if not every day. So, hope your journey is going well. Love all of you, and I will see you soon.